And both times, Hofstra emerged victorious. Should be another exciting game. And bringing him in right now, former Cornell University star goalie on the national championship team, Bob Rulin. Bob, based on the paperwork, this should be another close one.
Well, it should be a terrific game. Let's look at Hofstra first. Hofstra beat them in overtime 7-6, actually had more shots on them. They're a defensive-oriented team. What Hofstra's got to do today is get the ball to their offensive players, Alexander, Langtree, Judge, get the ball to them, and they've got to take quality shots.
How about UMass institutions? Are they a similar type team?
Very similar. You look at them, they have a great defensive team. They've got a little bit more offensive punch, though. So Hofstra's goalie, Mark Sport's got to come up big. Their defense has got to come up big, and they've got to score a few more goals than they have been.
Well, the Flying Dutchmen have had trouble scoring goals lately. One guy not having trouble is Paul Judge.
Well, look at P.J. Judge, 6'4", 210 pounds. And you know the real key for him? He's a senior now. He can blow by guys. He's so strong. The key for him, though, is his maturity. Now he knows when to blow by guys. So he's scoring goals. He's dishing the ball off. He's having a great year.
Well, the Minutemen also have an outstanding club in terms of their defense, and they've got a guy who's been lighting the lamp up, so to speak, by the name of Brendan Glass.
Well, Brendan Glass is one of their 9 seniors, a terrific ball player. He's another big kid, but he dishes it off a little bit more. He's smooth. He's a hard worker. He's going to be the key. He only had a goal the first game. He's got to score more today.
UMass has finished strong, Bob. They've won 3 of their last 4, coming off a big win over Brown, and they've got revenge on their mind.
Well, they've got to. And incidentally, they both beat Brown by identical 9-4 scores. They've got to be coming out. They've got to feel these 9 seniors have almost been reprieved because they didn't think they were going to get in. So this is going to be a great game for them.
All right, our sideline reporter Jimmy Cavallo back with his comments in just a moment. Get set for exciting NCAA lacrosse coming up next.
You gotta go to Moe's for the new New York Rangers Liberty merchandise. T-shirts, hats, and jerseys featuring the Rangers' new Liberty logo is now available, and only at Modell's. Some items available at the Garden.
Gotta go to Moe's. Gotta go to Modell's. Gotta go to Moe's. Modell's. Gotta go to Moe's.
For the gold, the new Rebel G. Get the ultimate rush.
St. James Transmission guaranteed their price.
Lady, maybe you should take your car to St. James.
Hey, it happens. He's running a franchise with franchise fees to pay. That's why our prices are so high. St. James Transmission has been there forever. 6 months ago, this place was the pantyhose explosion.
With 25 years experience and the latest technology, St. James Transmission always guarantees a fair shake.
St. James Transmission will always be there. Next year, we could be a yogurt basket.
This could be your pool. This could be your campus. This could be your library. This could be your studio. This could be your class. This could be your team. This could be your home. This could be your university. This should be your call.
Well, for a lacrosse fan, it's the place to be, Michie Stadium, as we are just moments away from this first round action. Well, hi, everybody. Jimmy Cavallo standing by on the sidelines, and we are just moments away. And when we take a look at the weather here at Michie Stadium, for a May afternoon in early May, it is unseasonably cool. The deal will be, if the rain holds out, we will have outstanding weather. Guys are not going to overheat on a day like today. You know, I had a chance to speak with both head coaches, and when you talk to Greg Cannell, the head coach of UMass, he said, you know what, I said to my guys, plain and simple, this is an opportunity. Forget about the first loss to Hofstra. Forget about the season. The season is over. The second season is here, and you guys guys have an opportunity. When I spoke to John Tanowski, he said, you know, Jimmy, after our final regular season game loss to North Carolina, there was a lot of doubt in my locker room, but we made it. We are here in the postseason, and we feel it's an opportunity for us. We are reborn. We are reborn, and we are just about set to get underway. Barry Landers and Bob Rule back with the starting lineups right after this.
Lacrosse Unlimited, with locations in Nassau and Suffolk County, offers both the player and the fan the most complete selection of lacrosse equipment and apparel on Long Island. We're also the area's largest supplier of both Brine and STX equipment. Let our knowledgeable staff assist you in choosing the right gear for your game. Lacrosse Unlimited has it all. We offer the widest selection of custom sticks, including our new mascot series. You create it, and we'll make it in less than a week. Lacrosse Unlimited, the ball stops here.
25 years of excitement, 25 years of action, 25 years of champions. All the best moments are here on Silver Celebration, the perfect video for every college lacrosse fan. Silver Celebration captures all the greatest memories from the first 25 years of the NCAA Division I Lacrosse Championship. Just $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Call 913-339-1906 for your copy of Silver Celebration.
Television, it's changing so fast. It's going beyond anything that anyone have thought was possible. Television, the world, the whole world, all within reach from your own TV. Sure, it's more programming options, but it's also movies on demand, video games, and PC online services faster than phone lines can deliver it. It's the future of television. How do I know? I have inside information.
Things are changing at Cablevision. Stay tuned.
The Elite Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation Center features state-of-the-art technology, ultra-modern equipment, and an in-house board-certified orthopedic surgeon. The Elite team will bring new science, technology, and perfection together. Under the watchful eye of Elite's medical staff, Elite provides physical therapy, sports training, currently running Neil Heaton's pitching program, and weight reduction programs. The Elite Sports and Fitness Center. Call 737-6767. Strive to become all you can.
Back at Mikey Stadium, Barry Landers along with Bob Rule. You see the Minutemen gathered around their coaching staff, Coach Greg and Canella. And we'll take a look at the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. And we'll take a look, first of all, for UMass. Excellent defense there, led by Harold Drum.
Well, Harold Drum's only had 2 players get more than 1 goal. He's an excellent player.
Midfield looks for Chris Grande. He's been on fire.
Chris Grande, a Yorktown graduate. The kid has been a little shy until this year. A lot of confidence, got 25 goals.
7 of the UMass starting 11 from Long Island. Brendan Glass, a Massachusetts product, although he grew up in Westchester, and he's a dandy. And there you see the Hofstra Flying Dutchmen gathered around Coach John Danowski. And we'll take a look at their starting lineup. Lorano, Alexander, and Testa. Testa's really been struggling. He could be a key today.
Well, you know, Testa, I love him because I call him a blue-collar player. He's a real hard worker. He's due to break out. Let's hope he scores it today.
Paul Judge, Brian Langtree of the midfield. Good ones. A solid defense. And Mark Spruitt, a goaltender who's had an outstanding season.
Well, Mark is saving better than 66% of his shots. He's had a terrific year, an All-American year this year.
All right, Bob, we'll be back with the start of today's game in just a moment. Hofstra at UMass, NCAA opening round coming up next.
We helped David Nolan with a pre-approved mortgage, which gave him the bargaining power to buy his family a bigger house with a lower bid. Chase Mortgage Pre-Approvals. They make every one of our 23 different mortgages even more valuable. Another way you're worth more at our bank. Chase, because the right relationship is everything.
The Rink Summer Hockey School is the summer camp you've heard so much about. Whether you're a beginner or on your way, you'll learn on ice and off. Get specialized instruction from collegiate coaches, pro team scouts, international stars, and pro players right in your own backyard. Plus, full use of the Hidden Pond Park Sports Kit.
Make this a summer to remember. Join us at Hidden Pond Park.
Registration's limited, so call now.
They're made of the same active ingredients. They've undergone extensive testing. So what's the big difference between Genevieve's pain reliever and the national brand? The box, and over $3. Quality Genevieve's brand products, guaranteed. They're made of the same ingredients. They've undergone extensive testing. So what's the big difference between Genevieve's mouthwash and the national brand? The bottle, and over $2. Quality Genevieve's brand products, guaranteed.
For the gold, the new Rebel G. Get the ultimate rush.
Barry Landers along with Bob Rule and joined by Mike Candell, NCAA Lacrosse Playoffs, Hofstra and UMass. And today's opening round playoff game is being brought to you by our many sponsors who are proud to sponsor this NCAA lacrosse game. As the two teams are set, brought to you by Canon USA. And also our friends at Chase Manhattan Bank. As we're just about set to go for the opening face-off, and thanks to all the fine folks at Chase. And we'll give you the rest of our advertisers in just a moment as we're getting ready for the face-off. Anything key? How about face-offs, Bob Rule?
Absolutely key. Jay Robbins wins 50% of his face-offs. The face-off man for UMass, they're 7-1.
Well, they'll come up with the ball here, but Hofstra looking to get it. Brian Langtree, number 3. And Brian Langtree has control for the Hofstra Flying Dutchmen, wearing their blue with yellow numerals. And again, Hofstra's offense this year has been a very patient offense, Bob. You got to look for them. When we talk to their coaching staff, what are they going to do offensively here today?
What they've got to do is really take, first of all, Drummond out of the game a little bit. And then what they want to try to do is work the ball around, be patient, and look for the good shot.
They were going to start Tony Alexander on attack, then move him to midfield to try to draw Drum away from the cage area.
And they might even move Drum to the crease and take their best defender off of the ability to slide, the ability to play the man behind.
This is Alexander, 36, against Drum, 44, one of the premier defenders in the country, and former Long Island star at Ward Melville High School. Langtree inverting behind against the stick, trying to get, or rather that was Clark trying to get the shot off, but it was broken up. And as they scramble for the ball, it'll be UMass coming up with the ball. And they'll look to clear. UMass has been rather effective this year clearing the ball and giving up just about 7 goals a game. They have played terrific defense. That was Adam Waxer, number 8, who brought it across. Now he'll put it in the hands of number 29 as they'll play the ball right now. Looking to set it up. They, too, have been very patient on attack. What do you look for them from offensively for them?
Well, they're much more balanced. They're scoring almost 59% from their midfield. The problem the Hofstra has, they really can't key on any one ball player or any one group.
Mike McKeefrey, number 28, on the attack right now with number 5, Ken Sushi, and number 45, Brendan Glass. They'll have to keep close eye on Glass. Though Hofstra did a good job against him in the UMass game earlier, holding him to just 1 goal, Mike Candell.
Yeah, but he was injured. He's come on very strong in the second half of the season.
Indeed he has. A guy to keep an eye on. Brendan Glass had 3 goals and an assist in the victory over Brown last week. Now this is Langtree, the short stick midfielder, trying to defend up top. This is number 45, Brendan Glass. Pass could not be handled by Sushi, out of bounds. And Mike Candell, as you join us, the fine Newsday columnist for Lacrosse and writer. Any keys you look for in this game, Mike?
Well, at this level, I always look for goaltending as the key, and you have 2 of the best in the country. Kazalakis and Spruitt really are the best. And the other key is whether Hofstra can dodge. I was interested when you said they were very patient on offense, and that's true, but that could be a code word for this year for ineffective. Well, because they just don't go to the cage.
Talking to coaching staff before, they said they're going to try to do a little more dumping and dodging here.
Look, I think they're really looking for the second shot.
Langtree got the shot off, stopped by Kazalakis. He's a very active goalie, and he'll make things happen in and out of the cage,
You'll
won't
see
he?
really 2 contrasting styles. Kazalakis is really a field general. He's all over the field. Sometimes he'll try to do even too much. But Spruitt, it's a stay-at-home guy, stay between the pipes. So you're going to really see 2 different styles of goaltending today.
All right. No score. We've played just about 3 minutes of this first quarter. Barry Landers along with Bob Rule, former Cornell University star goaltender on their NCAA championship team, current high school coach at Manhasset on Long Island, and Mike Handel of Newsday. Both teams, as we said this year, have been playing for the good shot. They work it now. Hofstra's defense has been strong. A couple of guys a little bit banged up. Polanco they're a little concerned about. He's been playing a little bit hurt. And Delgado all season's been playing a little hurt, Bob.
And Polanco, the concern is he's got Glass, who's their big gun. He's got to be able to run with him.
They'll swing it outside. Number 1 is Chris Grande. They've got to keep an eye on him. He's been coming on late, Mike, in the year.
He's got 25 goals out of the midfield, which these days is very unusual.
He had 3 against Hofstra the first time they played, as we mentioned, 2 against Brown.
You know what I always notice? He's got 1 assist. This kid looks at that goal. He's looking at nothing but the goal.
No score. 4 minutes gone in the first quarter. This figures to be a low-scoring game, maybe a 7-6 type game as they had earlier this year.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I think both of the teams, but particularly Hofstra, would be helped by more of an up-tempo game because they don't dodge well. If there could be some unsettled situations and get some more goals.
Nice look on the crease, and they score early here as they come up with the goal. And right now, Chris Martins from Long Island, the 5'9" junior, number 4, out of Bethpage High School, comes up with his 7th goal of the year, and it's 1-0 UMass.
You know, an example of sliding a little bit too early. And not only that, you slide to a man who couldn't score. If you see the replay, they slid to a man who was really feeding the ball, got the ball, took a really good shot, but he slid really too early to a man who could not score.
Yeah, it was Susi, and you're right, Bob. He wasn't making he had no notion to come to the goal. There was no reason to slide.
And he was looking right at him when he slid. That's another mistake you make. When you slide, the man can't be looking at you, he'll dump the ball over your head. That's just what happened then.
Roberts won the face-off. UMass looking for the transition, and the bounce shot, and they score. Ken Sushi with the goal, and it's 2-0. 4.5 minutes into play. UMass with the lead. Sushi's 4th goal of the year. We talked about a lot of guys not scoring a whole lot, but a balanced team that can hurt you with a lot of different people.
Well, if you look at it, too, that was a classic fast break. The defense got nice and tight, but they didn't rotate fast enough. You see that? Defenseman just doesn't rotate fast enough. A good low shot by Sushi, good bounce shot.
And Jay Robbins gets the face-off, which sets it all up.
So Sushi, who set up the first goal with an assist, comes up with a goal here. 4:30, just 14 seconds after the first goal.
You know, Barry, just a side note here. Ordinarily, a 2-0 lead would mean nothing, not much. But Hofstra does not score quickly. And 2-0 against Hofstra could be trouble.
And you know the tough thing, too, Mike? First 2 shots on Mark Sprout have gone in. As a goalie, you like to make that first save to break the ice. It makes it a little bit tougher psychologically now for Mark.
Well, if you recall, gentlemen, the first time these 2 clubs played, Hofstra fell behind, trailed 6-4 late in the 4th quarter, rallied to tie it in the closing minute, and won it in overtime, Bob.
Yeah, well, remember, Brendan Glass was hurt, which could make a big difference in the game today.
But John Kazalakis did give up those goals, even though he took a very costly penalty that almost hurt him late in the game, actually in overtime.
Well, it was good. Chris Campoltano came in, who was a goalie for St. Anthony's, came in and did a nice job when he went out.
You see, I think since then, the offensive part of Hofstra's game hasn't kept up with its defense. Yeah. And so whether they can come back is a real question.
Well, Hofstra right now can't stop them as they score once again. Brendan Glass, number 45, rather check it, Todd Sokolowski, set up by Glass, and it's now 3-0.
Glass scores the goal, and it's a great fast break goal. Came around, watch this now. Good fast break goal, gives a good feed just right, and Glass in one motion scores.
Hofstra will take a timeout here, a little shell shock. 5 minutes and 25 seconds the time of the Brendan Glass goal as he comes up with the goal. We'll be back with more in just a moment. You're watching NCAA Lacrosse.
For the gold, the new Rebel G. Get the ultimate rush.
Gotta go to Moe's. Gotta go to Modell's. Gotta go to Moe's. Modell's. Yeah.
Modell's loves the Yankees, the '96 World Champs. Check out Modell's big new collection of majestic, officially licensed Yankee jerseys, jackets, and T-shirts with player names and numbers. Yankee fans know you gotta go to Moe's.
Gotta go to Moe's. Gotta go to Modell's. Gotta go to Moe's. Modell's. Gotta go to Moe's.
Well, back at Michie Stadium, what a glorious scene for watching a spring lacrosse game. But it is not glorious start here for Hofstra, Mike Candell. As you see, UMass leading 3-0.
It's exactly what they didn't want to have happen.
And they gave up the transition right there, and Glass finishing. They've got to turn the momentum around. They've been a good come-from-behind team, Hofstra, this year. But against a very good goaltender and a good defense, as you said, Mike, possessions and opportunities are not that great. So let's see what Hofstra does here. They'll work it behind. Clark is number 1. Mike Clark, a junior from Corning, New York. Has not had a lot of goals this year, only 8 goals. Now they swing it around. Joe Godina, number 42, working in the midfield with Scott Jankow. They worked their second midfield in, and that was something they said they weren't going to do too much, Bob.
Well,
they said they were going to try to play that first midfield about 80% of the time.
And the other thing, the big concern is, too, in the long run, Barry, you only play 4 or 5 guys. Fatigue will be a real factor in the fourth quarter. They've got to play the younger guys now rather than later in the game.
Clark, errant pass as it'll come to the midfield line. Hofstra trying to get that ground ball. Deflected high in the air by UMass, but Hofstra will get it. Mike Clark will take his defender behind.
Now, he's got a short stick on him, so maybe he should try to do something.
He's got a good short stick. The captain of the team, Todd Sokolowski, one of the better short stick defensive biddies.
I'd still go after him. If it's a short stick, you're an attackman, you've got to go after him a little bit.
But that's another thing, that Hofstra doesn't have a whole lot of confidence on their attack, and maybe that's the reason why they're not taking advantage of it.
Well, that's why I think your point was good, that they were a good comeback team, but that was early in the season. They do not have a lot of offensive confidence late in the season.
Clark got in. Kaselakis got a piece of it. Good save.
And that won't help it.
You know, it's something, but that was going against a short stick. He took a short stick, came around hard. That's got to give him some confidence. Good shot, too.
Kaselakis had great coaching in high school, didn't he, Bob?
Yes, he did.
Bob
yes,
Rule
he did.
was the coach of Mr. Kaselakis, coaches at Manhasset High School, coaches the goalies in defense for Alan Lowe.
But what with John was more than just a lacrosse player. He lived the game. He went to all the games. He watched everything. He was a real aficionado of the game, and that's really important.
Well, this young man has had a terrific season. Mark Spruitt out of East Islip High School, transferred from North Carolina early, and Mike, he's really been the glue that has held Hofstra together this year.
He's been everything. And I think the fact that North Carolina isn't in the tournament is because Mark Spruitt is at Hofstra.
That's an interesting point. Langtree will take his defender behind as he works against number 40. And for UMass, that is check that, Barazzi. Jay Barazzi. This is Alexander. Lost the ball. Drum, very aggressive, intense defender over there, helping to force the turnover. And UMass looks for the transition here. Hofstra gave up a transition goal to Glass, and that ball will bounce to the far side. Try to save it, goes out of bounds. It'll be Hofstra ball. 6:46 to go in the first quarter, and it is 3-0 in favor of UMass on goals by Martins, Sushi, and Glass.
And Barry, they were good goals. I mean, close in, good tight shots. There's nothing what they were giving away with that. Those were 3 good goals.
Ken Sushi out of Chaminade High School on Long Island. Native of voice to be. Hofstra loses the ball as Judge lost it. We get a whistle, however, here, Bob. Procedure call. And it'll go over to UMass. So things not going well for Hofstra, Mike Candell, in the early going.
No, they're not, Barry. I was interested when you say about Susi being from Chaminade. Massachusetts has 7 starters from Long Island.
Well, you look about every team that's in the playoffs, and you could find a lot of Long Island players. In fact, we've mentioned this before in previous broadcasts. Probably Lacrosse provides more scholarships to Long Island players than not only any other sport, but probably most of the sports combined.
No question about it.
Don't forget Greg Cannella, the coach, is a Lindbrook, product. His dad started the Little League program there.
And actually was the first coach at Lindbrook. Mike, you're a native of Lindbrook. You remember those days.
I remember them very well. I remember them very well.
Bob Rule, of course, played at Manhasset. Not with Jimmy Brown. That's a little past your time, right, Bob?
He's younger than I am. No way.
5:50 to go, and it's been all UMass early here, 3-0. In the opening game, Duke advanced with a very impressive win over Brown. Nice look on the crease, and Glass fired wide.
And boy, he was quick. He's a big boy, but he was quick to get that ball and turn fire. You know what I like? Spruitt's a big goalie. They've scored 2 of their 3 goals have been scored low, and they shot low again. Big goalies shoot low. It's harder for them to get a stick down.
Now, the Hofstra game plan when they had the ball was to shoot bounce shots, Bob. We
Right.
talked to the coaching staff about that. Why were they doing that?
Well, John's about 5'9", and John's very aggressive, and they feel that he stays back a little bit in the crease, so the ball tends to bounce high, and he'll actually put a shot over his shoulder.
James Delgado with a nice intercept. He'll clear it. Got it across. Rich Langtree checked out of his stick, and UMass doing a good job in the middle of the field, gentlemen, coming up with those balls. And Hofstra looks a little unsettled here.
Even game at the moment.
Well, it's been all UMass. 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. UMass will make some changes here as they'll work in the midfield with Jay Negus, another Long Island product out of Ward Melville High School. Of course, Ward Melville's Richie Kunkel will be coming to UMass next year, along with some other fine players. I think a couple of the twins, the Gabrielli twins from Farmingdale, Bob, will be coming up here for UMass.
Well, we got a couple of twins. The Bevilacqua was at Harvard, and they had Triola twins who also went to UMass from, I think, Harborfields.
Knocked down by Spruitt on the opportunity and close by Chris Grande.
Now there's with Spruitt, big tall goaltender. They shot high, really gave him no angle at all. He really kept his position well. That's what I noticed about Mark Spruitt now. His position is so much better.
Hofstra will, of course, host the NCAA quarterfinals next week, and they had a lot of juice with that in mind, Mike Dandel. They had a lot to shoot for to know that they could play at home against Princeton next week, probably before the biggest crowd ever on Long Island.
I expect it will be, and you're right. I mean, they were really fired up to get there, but right now, they may have been fired up in the locker room, but they've been flat so far.
No question about it. They trail 3-0. Let's see if they try to bounce the ball, Bob, as the game plan was.
They've got one good shot that I can remember during this quarter. They've got to get more shots, first of all.
You know, again, we mentioned not getting the ball in the hands of Jared Tester, who probably is their best inside shooter. Nice stop, Kazalakis on the shot, taken from outside. Kadena swings it around. Janko had that last shot. Scott Janko, number 5.
Boy, he dodged right around him. The defensive guy looked like he was looking for a slide. Never happened.
Well, I don't think you're going to see many slides because Hofstra doesn't beat many people off the dodge, which, by the way, is why Testa doesn't get the ball.
That's a good point. And, of course, they missed Blake Miller, who was such a key player on last year's team.
And Blake Miller gave him what they needed, somebody who could make the defense make a decision. See, there it is again. I mean, nobody's beating a defenseman. Nobody has to slide and help.
Jacob Rogers, number 7, had it checked. Again, Hofstra having trouble. Scott Jankow, number 5. He's a sophomore from West Islip. Broken up. Rogers rakes it, but right into the stick of the defender. And Kazalakis looks to clear. Good pass, and they'll have a little transition going again. Got it over now to number 22, Mike Del Percio. 2:35 to go in this first quarter. UMass with a 3-0 lead and possession here.
Del Percio is another one, you know. He's out of Hicksville. He led Hicksville to its only Nassau County championship 3 years ago.
He's had 14 goals, and he's had a couple of goals against Duke and a goal against Brown. They lost to Virginia and Duke, two of the premier teams in this year's tournament. We mentioned Duke. They looked impressive in beating Brown. They'll advance to play down in Maryland next week.
I was surprised. I really thought Brown would beat him because Brown beat him down at Duke during the season. But Duke was very, very impressive today.
This is Casey Costello, number 9, out of Virginia, Great Falls, Virginia. Great dodger, and he's got a good matchup here as he has taken the short stick behind. Mike Clark trying to defend it. That's kind of strange. Mike is an attackman, now playing defense with a short stick. Not a good matchup, gentlemen, you would think.
It must have been a switch when they were clearing the ball. Hey, isolate, go one-on-one. If they're thinking about it, that's what they should do.
Well, Greg Cannell in his 3rd year is a great recruiter. Mike Candell, I think one of your sons, of course, played up at UMass, didn't he?
No, I played at Amherst.
At Amherst.
But one of my sons played with Greg in high school. They were on attack together.
Yeah, Greg still calls me Mr. Rule, Coach Rule.
Makes you feel young, huh?
Makes you feel old.
Well, Greg not only played at Lynbrook High School and later at UMass as he played under the legendary coach Dick Garber, but he coached at Stony Brook with John Espy for a while and did a nice job there. Came up here at UMass, was the assistant coach, and has done an excellent job in the 3 years, Bob. And as I mentioned with Mike, an excellent recruiter. Kids love to play for him.
I thought UMass made a great choice. There were some bigger names available who were interested, but I think they picked somebody who's going to make this program.
Well, they score again from the outside, and it's now 4-0, showing a lot of patience. And it was Jim Kennedy, number 11, the senior from Cincinnati out of Moeller High School with his 9th goal of the year. And what a stunner as we take another look, Bob.
If you look, now watch this. It's a good bounce shot. And Mark Spruitt goes to his knees. Again, it's a bounce shot. Really got to step out at the ball rather than go to your knees. That's what he did then. This is Moeller, the great football school.
That's where Jerry Faust was
That's
from.
right.
before he
Jerry
went to
Faust
Notre
was from
Dame.
there. That's what I was saying.
All right, 4-0, a minute 2 to go. Hofstra falling behind. Of course, UMass really dominated Brown last week, winning 9-4, but that score really not indicative of how they dominated that game, apparently, from what we heard, Mike, on scouting reports.
Yeah, and Catrano, if Catrano hadn't played very, very well, it would have been much worse.
Well,
I was saying Brown never really impressed me. I mean, they never, against good teams, they other than Syracuse, which was some kind of miracle game, they really didn't win any big games.
Of course,
well, they beat Duke.
Oh, they did beat Duke, yes.
Of course, Syracuse will be at Hofstra next week. Judge taking his defender, number 35, McDonald, a real good defender, 6'1" senior. And this is Clark coming around, doubled up. He's got to drop it off. 14 seconds to go.
Barry, we have almost 10 seconds to go, and they've taken 2 shots in the entire quarter.
No, you're not going to win any games. All right, let's go now to Alexander. He'll take a shot, bounce shot. They tried the bounce shot. The first quarter comes to an end. Let's go to Jimmy Cavallo down on the field.
Hey, gentlemen, I had a little chance a moment ago to spend some time near the Hofstra sidelines. No real panic has set in as they're down 4-0, but you can start to hear the cries from the coaching staff. PJ, get the ball. And they're talking about Paul Judge, their leading scorer. He's the man. They're saying, Paul, you got to demand the ball. We're turning the ball over. We're just not getting enough looks. As you guys have spoken about, back upstairs we go.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with second quarter action in just a moment. The Minutemen lead the Flying Dutchmen 4-0.
This could be your pool. This could be your campus. This could be your library. This could be your studio. This could be your class. This could be your team. This could be your home. This could be your university. This should be your call.
Lacrosse Unlimited, with locations in Nassau and Suffolk County, offers both the player and the fan the most complete selection of lacrosse equipment and apparel on Long Island. We're also the area's largest supplier of both Brine and STX equipment. Let our knowledgeable staff assist you in choosing the right gear for your game. Lacrosse Unlimited has it all. We offer the widest selection of custom sticks, including our new mascot series. You create it and we'll make it in less than a week. Lacrosse Unlimited, the ball stops here.
They're made of the same active ingredients. They've undergone extensive testing. So what's the big difference between Genevieve's pain reliever and the national brand? The box, and over $3. Quality Genevieve's brand products, guaranteed. They're made of the same ingredients. They've undergone extensive testing. So what's the big difference between Genevieve's mouthwash and the national brand? The bottle, and over $2. Quality Genevieve's brand products, guaranteed.
This afternoon's NCAA playoff game is brought to you by the NCAA. Hello. Brought to you by Barry Landers along with Mike Candell, and joined, of course, by our regular colleague, Bob Rule. All right, John Danowski, gentlemen, you had the huddle. Team gets together. You're down 4-0. you can't get all 4 back in one shot here, but you got to get some shots, Bob Rule.
That's the key. They had 2 shots the first quarter. You know what bodes bad for them too, Barry? The second half, UMass has outscored their opposition 43 goals to 14. This is their big quarter. So they really got to put UMass down a little bit.
Alexander on drum, gets doubled up.
But where's the open man? That's the key. He got doubled up and he wasn't
That was the
open.
first time somebody made UMass slide. He didn't find anybody, but at least he made them slide.
Langtree hitting the pipe. Got a good shot off, but he hit the pipe. Brian Langtree, who played well the first time these two clubs played, had 3 goals.
I like the official that wasn't sure. He kind of did a pirouette and gave it to Hofstra.
What's the rule? When in doubt, give it back?
Give it back to the offense. That's right. Give it to the team that's behind. No one can fault you.
Here's a guy that has the capability of stepping up. He's one of their better athletes, Brian Langtree, the junior out of Massapequa, St. Anthony's High School. Alexander against Drum. See if he gets doubled up again here. Alexander, perhaps the finest athlete, Mike Candell, in terms of maybe being able to dodge and beat people. And Drum's surprisingly good speed. He's not a big kid, a very
No, he's very
intense player.
small for a defenseman. Alexander's a good dodger, but this year he hasn't been able to finish because he's had that shoulder problem.
That time, the freshman Eisenhardt had a close-in shot, easily stopped by Kazalakis.
And they, Mike, they can really key on him too. They're looking for him to be the dodger, so everybody keys on him.
Now they'll swing it behind, 45 glass.
It's funny, too. I noticed before, UMass has the 2 short sticks behind playing defense and the long sticks out front. So I think the guys behind just have to come around and dodge a little bit more. Like Clark, it's not a bad move. He's got to get a better shot, that's all.
Right now, Mike Del Percio working in the midfield, number 22 with Chris Martins, number 4, and Chris Grande. Good-looking midfield. They can score, and they're good defensively.
What a great name for a midfielder, Chris Grande. That is great. I love that.
Martins, of course, got it started. They scored 2 goals 14 seconds apart, and Hofstra found themselves behind the 8 ball early here.
And they've really been getting quality shots.
Glass,
UMass.
Good defensive play there. And as they scramble for the ball, officials will make a call here. Interference. And the ball stays in the hands of UMass.
As I was saying, Barry, UMass has really got quality shots. They've scouted Spruitt. They're going low on him, which is a little more difficult for him. 3 of the 4 goals have been low, and one's been on a very quick, fast break.
So UMass with the 4-0 lead. And as Mike Candell pointed out earlier, when you have a team that plays as well defensively and as patient as UMass is under normal circumstances, a 4-goal lead is a big lead to overcome. On the wing, they'll swing it. Martins is 4. Alexander, they've got their short stick middies, their offensive middies in now defensively for Hofstra. They weren't able to get Joey Amplo in there or Rich Langtree. Glass hunts the ball down on the far side. Glass, who had a goal earlier. Del Percio. 3 minutes gone here in the second quarter. 4-0 UMass, the winner to advance to play Princeton at Hofstra next week. Again, they try the bounce shot. Martins missing, but they had a backer, so they retained possession.
And that's what, for people who aren't familiar with the game, the nearest person to the ball when it goes out of bounds retains possession. That's why you always see people racing after ball after a shot like that.
We've got fine officials working today's game, and the best around among the NCAA officials. We'll tell you about them in just a moment. Our referee is Phil DiDomenico. The umpire, Tim Cullen, whose dad, I think, was up at Cornell.
Was the coach at Cornell back in the early 60s.
Field judge was John Bellows, or is John Bellows, CBO. Skip Spenceri. Hard shot by Glass, but again, they had a backer, and they'll keep the ball.
But I like the fact that they're shooting. It's very tough to score when you're not shooting. I don't care how well you run your offense. You got to take a shot now and then.
You know what I like too, Mike? They spread the defense out, spread them out, and finally one guy like Glass with a real good shot steps in and takes a good shot.
It's interesting. Hofstra was not able to get their defensive midfield in. Again, they're still playing with that. That's going to tire them out, especially, Bob, as they almost had another great opportunity there.
Off the pipe.
And I believe it was Chris Martins. Chris,
oh, man.
out
There
of
we go.
Bethpage, played for Jimmy Amon and the great program there. And, boy, you look around the college ranks right now. Bethpage players doing a great job. Of course, down at Hopkins, the great A.J. Hogan. Although he hasn't had a great year, they still expect great things from him.
He's a freshman. We all get excited when a great high school player goes off, but he's still a freshman. He'll do well before it's over.
And today's game is being brought to you by the Long Island Rough Riders with their home open at Hofstra University Sunday, May 25th at 7 p.m. For ticket information, call 516-756-4625. Happy to bring you Hofstra Lacrosse here from West Point, where the Flying Dutchmen are not flying very high right now. They trail 4-0. And we've got 10:45 to go. Hofstra needs something to generate. They have not done much offensively at all. Joe Godina, number 42. Normally a face-off midi. Will stay on right now. Godina, with 6 goals on the year, goes to his right. UMass has their defensive midfield in. Coming around is Clark, and got knocked down. Clark's played a big role in the offense today, something that's kind of surprising, Mike.
But at least he made the defense do something there. I mean, you got to make the defense make decisions. It's not always going to work out, but sometimes it will. I mean, somebody has to go to the cage and make something happen.
Thought we might see a little more of Mike Lorano, who got a couple of big goals late in the year. As Jacob Rogers dumped it off. Jankow as he tried to get the shot off. And that's been a frustrating kind of afternoon it has been for Hofstra.
But that's the offensive movement they need, Barry. They moved the ball quick. They forced the double. They got an open man. He didn't get a good shot. But that's the idea. He was in front of the goal. If he had gotten that shot off, it would have been a good shot.
And UMass will call timeout right now. Greg Canella, with his club leading 4-0, will talk things over. Greg, as we mentioned, a Long Island product, and so is one of his coaches, Jimmy Strub. We'll be back right now with more from the NCAA playoffs. Hofstra and UMass, second quarter, 9:45 to go, and the Flying Dutchmen trailed the Minutemen 4-0.
The Rink Summer Hockey School is the summer camp you've heard so much about. Whether you're a beginner or on your way, you'll learn on ice and off. Get specialized instruction from collegiate coaches, pro team scouts, international stars, and pro players right in your own backyard. Plus, full use of the Hidden Pond Park Sports Camp.
Make this a summer to remember. Join us at Hidden Pond Park.
Registration's limited, so call now.
It has speed. It has power. It has grace. In the world of sports, there is nothing else like it. It's the 1997 NCAA Divisions 1 and 3 Men's Lacrosse Championships, semifinals and finals, coming back to the University of Maryland May 24th and 26th. For ticket information, call 1-800-462-8377.
Copy my notes. These are the times. We're back. Barry Landers along with Mike Candell and Bob Rule. 9:45 to go. UMass leading Hofstra 4-0. And Harold Drum back to the goalie. Hofstra would like to force a turnover, but they're not a very aggressive riding team. They've been a team that didn't want to give up the fast break all year, so they're not a team that can create off the ride, Mike.
They've been very cautious, Barry, in every way. They're cautious in the ride. They're cautious on offense. The only place where I think they play with some kind of abandon is on defense.
Yep. Well, they don't have a takeaway type defense. So we talked to Billy Wilson, the new coach who came over from Princeton, and the team has played the system very well, but they're not flashy. They just play good position.
Well, you watch here. They're really not putting a lot of pressure on any of the UMass players.
And right now, Sushi dishes the ball off on the wing, work it up top, and an easy shot from the outside handled.
I think it was passing to the crease.
Yeah.
You know, as a goalie, those are the hardest ones to take care of
because you're not really tense.
Yeah, you're thinking it's a pass, too. You think the guy's going to catch it, and it goes by the pass.
And again, Hofstra turns the ball over.
Well, that time was interference. Mark Stewart got the ball, and then after that, they checked the UMass player's stick, which is illegal.
No penalties, no extra man situations here so far. Very clean game. 8:44 to go. UMass first half, leading at 4-0. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a conversation. Jimmy Cavallo will be chatting with Jim Garvey, Hofstra Athletic Director, and John Parry, the chairman of the NCAA Lacrosse Committee, the athletic director at Butler University. So we invite you to stay tuned for that. Again, UMass showing a lot of patience. Bob, as a defensive coach, what do you tell your defense as we watch the play unfold here when you're playing against a very patient team and sometimes you have a tendency maybe to fall asleep a little bit? What are the keys to tell them?
First of all, don't let the back door happen. You start watching the ball, forgetting about your man. All of a sudden, they slip a guy by you. Secondly, don't double too quickly because they're looking for the double. That's the whole thing about being patient. So don't double unless your guy is really beat or he can't see you.
Yeah, and Hofstra's strategy all year, Mike, was don't get beat inside. Let them play around the perimeter. But they have gotten beat in close a couple of times today.
That first goal set the tone where the Hofstra defensive players slid a little too early, a little too anxious. They got a quick, easy goal.
Sushi works behind against the checking of Grimes, Ryan Grimes. Number 32.
I would like to see their defense put more pressure on the man with the ball right now. They're just sliding. I mean, they're making it very easy to pass. They don't have to worry about the ball being taken away, and that gives the offense confidence.
Yeah, it sure does. And then eventually someone does fall asleep, and they find that open guy.
We talked about UMass in terms of recruiting some good Long Island players, and I happened to watch Doug Shanahan play last night for Sachem in a terrific game against Ward Melville, two of the premier teams on Long Island, Ward Melville winning. And Shanahan's going to come to Hofstra and have a chance to play both football and lacrosse, Mike.
Hofstra is one of the few places that can let that happen. And I think it's terrific. I think way too much is it's overdone about the idea that somebody has to specialize that you can't play two. Because you can.
Look at Deion Sanders.
Excellent point. Doug Shanahan was an outstanding quarterback for Sachem's football team. In fact,
or Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Jim Brown wasn't a bad athlete.
No, sir. Again, UMass with total possession here. And
it almost looks like a man-up play, Bob. They're just sitting in and they're letting him pass it around the perimeter.
They've had the ball for 4 minutes on offense, and I don't think they've taken a shot yet. I can't believe if I was Hofstra, I'd get in a little bit tighter. Maybe they'll call a stall. You have to go to the goal.
Well, we're down to 6:14 to go. So finally, an errant pass. Clark trying to come up with it, got pushed. And let's see a loose. Oh, it's going to be an offside. They'll rule it against UMass. So Hofstra finally gets the ball back.
You know, it's funny. The only problem with that, if I'm UMass, is you start lulling. You get out of your game, get out of sync a little bit. You don't take shots. You're playing not to lose, and that's, to me, always a mistake. This early in a game.
If they're sitting on it now to run clock off, that's a huge mistake. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
When you got it going, you got to push it.
Alexander doesn't have drum on him this time. Gets in on the midfielder and got the shot deflected away. That time he was working against the midfielder, Jim Kennedy.
Well, that's what they've got to do. I like Alexander when he goes to the goal like that. I'd put him out front, ice a little bit, maybe 1-4-1, get him on the crease, get a guy a pick so he ends up with the shorts that can go to the goal.
Well, we're 5.5 to go in the first half, and I think they've taken 4 shots. And I don't know what the NCAA record is. I'm serious, for the fewest shots and a half, but it can't be many fewer than these.
I can tell you there's been one shutout in NCAA history. Cornell against Washington Lee in 1976.
Langtree with a bad pass there, turns it over. And, you know, you can't afford to make the mistakes that Hofstra's making now when you don't have the ball. Well, you give it right back.
You know, we talked about getting quality shots. You got to get any shots to do it.
Well, we've seen Hofstra's offense really sputter, Mike, at times against the better teams, and it's sputtering right now.
I just think it's caution. I just think that this is a far too cautious offense. They're too conscious of settling things down. You know what? They should unsettle things a little bit.
You got to create a little havoc. Get the crowd, get the players into the game.
And a guy like Tony Alexander, I think, and even P.J. Judge will work better in the open field than they will if they settle down and have guys ready to back up on them.
And what you also have to consider, this is not an explosive UMass team. You're not playing Hopkins or Syracuse or Princeton out here, teams that if you make a mistake and you try to double up, that they're going to convert off that mistake. So you better have an opportunity to take a chance or two.
Absolutely right. But Massachusetts at the moment is running into one of the few teams in the country that's less explosive than they are.
Well, Hofstra trailing 4-0, 4.5 to go here. Del Percio working against Joe Amplo, the short stick defensive midi. He's a good one, Amplo. But Del Percio got in. Got doubled up. Good job that time by the defender, Polanco, to help out.
Starting to wonder if Pete Carrill's coaching on the side here.
Or Butch Van Bredikoff. Where's Butch Van Bredikoff?
This ball control has to cease.
Well, they're talking next year getting rid of one of the long sticks. Go back to 3 long sticks on the field. Now, as a defensive coach, I'm not in love with that idea, but
they're also talking about a shot clock, Bob. It's not far away.
The problem with a shot clock, at least at the high school level, is no high school has a shot clock. It's too expensive. You know, who's going to run it?
Well, they're going to have somebody count by hand on the side.
Brian Langtree out there. Hofstra this year in the first half, as we watch Langtree sweep to his right, get in, bounce it. They went for the bounce shot. Good recovery. And that one deflected.
That's what they should be doing right there. Langtree forcing the dodge right there. That's what the Hofstra's got to do.
Langtree made something happen. Even though he didn't score, they got the backup, they got the feed, and they got another good shot.
That's what they've got to do. Unsettled situation, take advantage of it.
Jared Testa tries to get open on the crease. He's got the ball now. Good save, Kasolakis. They try to goose him toward the goal. And we get a crease violation called, I believe, here.
That's a terrific save because that was a fine shot.
A good low shot, Kasolakis. That's why he's got a great he's always a great athlete, a good quarterback in high school.
They finally got the ball to Jared Testa, and he's a finisher, and that's where he's got to get the ball.
And that was a good shot by
I was going to say, 9 times out of 10, that would have been a goal.
Unless you're coming up against one of the quality goaltenders in the country, and certainly John Kasolakis is, the young man who played at Manhasset for Bob Rule. Hofstra a little more aggressive here, but the shot